Can anyone stop Lorena Wiebes? I wonder how many times I'm going to say that this year. Probably a lot of times because she's the best sprinter in the world. We have the final stage of the UAE Tour Women, the Abu Dhabi breakwater finish, which is a bit of a right to left chicane. It's not a straightforward sprint like some of the other sprints in the Middle East. Also, it's mostly in a built-up area, so crosswinds not likely to play a major role in this stage. Could Charlotte Cool beat Lorena Wiebes? She's not been able to so far, mainly because there's been one sprint. Stage 2 was the crosswind stage. ELB just looking to get through the stage unscathed, whilst Wiebes was looking for a third victory out of 4. But Longaborghini looking pretty relaxed, having some lollies, even handing them out to the camera person. I like the red ones. I always just steal the red ones. I also don't like the white bits on them. I just prefer the straight red, like lollies or gummy bears. But 115 Ks to go. Breakaway didn't really form. It's somewhat surprising that even now, like, everybody knows Lorena Wiebes is going to win. You already know. You knew before you clicked on it. And yet, not all the teams are trying to go in the breakaway. I mean, FDJ, credit to them, they tried with Los Arajes for a bit. I think Visma tried to see if there was some crosswind action. But yeah, you see EF trying because Alison Jackson was out of the race. But X tried a little bit later as well. But I would say not enough teams were trying to put pressure on SD Worx. And you actually see if you put a bit of pressure on them, their lead out won't be perfect. There's only teams of 6 riders here, and so if you actually make their lead out work into a headwind, which is what X made them do, I think with Barker, and no one chased, and then SD Worx, they got to spend 3 riders chasing her. Then they got Wiebes, then they got 2 women for the lead out, Lach and Guarishi, but then they don't have a setup woman anymore, so it's not so straightforward for SD Worx, and there's more likely she can get boxed in. So would like to see more teams trying, but that wasn't the case. It was headwind. I think you can see it looks like visibly they're battling into a headwind. Visma was stuck at the back. Were they going to go for Veenhoven again today? Trek on the right-hand side. Could they deliver Elisa Balsamo? She's not had the best of luck in sprints the last 18 months, she's good in Valencia last year after the harder stages, but in terms of these big flat sprints, not been as consistent as one might have thought. ELB doing the lead out. I think they're going for Van Rooyen, maybe Persico Bonies, or maybe Gillespie. To be honest, Gillespie looks better than Van Rooyen at the moment, and yeah, definitely in terms of like overall physical level, Gillespie is better, even in the sprint. I think she might be better as well, but Van Rooyen won a few races last year. Last 1,500 metres, ELB still on the front. Human Powered Health on the right-hand side. Really going for Lily Williams, who indeed made that crosswind split herself in the earlier stage. Guazzini goes on a flyer. Love to see it. Krak won this stage with a flyer last year. She held off the peloton. Arajes has tried. Now Guazzini tries. Kudos to FDJ Suez for giving it a crack, and you can see that it's not SD Worx that are bossing it. It's Human Powered Health. SD Worx, they got one rider in front of Lorena Wiebes right now. So she's not having it all her own way. There's Norsgaard who's doing the lead out for Elisa Balsamo. Norsgaard just got signed from Movistar, and here you see Visma come up the right-hand side. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot sneaks up the right, little bit of draft. So they were going with the strategy of move up late. We actually would see Bora Hansgrohe do this a few years ago with Mullen, Archbold, Van Poppel for Bennett. That's the way they tried to do it in headwind sprints in the UAE. The problem is your sprinter is kind of cooked now when you bring them up there. And Fidanza's eating too much wind. She let Artesalo take the wheel of Van Hoven. She probably needed to stay in the wheel of Van Hoven, and now she's eating a lot of wind. Wiebes then barges off Artesalo's wheel and then goes back and takes. She sprints here, Wiebes. She's even on the radio there, actually, but there was no lead out for her. But she just nudges Artesalo off through the bend, gets onto Veenhoven's wheel, but still risks being swamped as the others open up their sprint early. But she makes sure she's not boxed in, keeps her wheel free. Norsgaard, how many times have we seen this already this season? Lead outs looking back. She just opened her sprint, looked back for Balsamo, mid-corner, mid-sprint, stopped, decelerated, and then sprinted again. Crashes, I think, Consoni and Charlotte Cole. If you look back during a sprint, when you've just opened your sprint as a lead out, I don't understand it. It's now, the second, third time I put it in a video. Here she opens. You think, Consoni's an idiot. She's crashed herself onto her back wheel. No. Norsgaard's full sprinting and just stops and decelerates. And then Consoni's got nowhere to put her wheel. And also, Norsgaard, was she in the drive to the Cofidis rider? Was she swinging out? Yeah, let's just not look back during sprints because it's dangerous. So we can talk about the bend all we want, but the bend didn't cause the crash, at least in my opinion. Lorena Wiebes, though, great post up, getting the photo, so deserved. 3 out of 4 wins, not much more to say for the stage. The result was as expected, beating Furin, then Didriksen, Zanardi, Verhulst, Fidanza, Artesolo, Braus, Gillespie, and Turrell. So it was indeed Gillespie they went for. Here's what Wiebes had to say after the stage.
Lorena, first time winning the last stage of the UAE Tour. Is it somehow a relief?
Yeah, it's nice to win it, and also the team worked really hard for it today. So I had to finish it off. It was really chaotic in the last kilometers. I lost the train, but I found my way out and I was able to sprint.
Tell us how it happened. It looked like a short sprint.
Yeah, I knew before that it was mostly headwind towards the finish, so I didn't want to come too early to the front. But then I felt somebody on the right side coming up, and then I reacted actually, and it was enough to hold it to the finish line.
What happened to you with 10 kilometers to go?
Yeah, there were I don't know how to say it in English, a kind of pause. And the girls in front of me, they didn't saw it, so they hit it and I hit it with my knee, my handlebar. So for a few kilometers I had no power in my right leg. But then also the adrenaline comes, and luckily you don't feel the pain with sprinting.
Lamborghini completes the stage, wins GC without any issues, even if there was a crash. I mean, she was through the 3Ks okay. Ahead of Persico, Kim LaCourte, huge result for her, third on GC. I'm interested to see how she goes. Is she going to do the Tour this year? She's so good, she probably has to, but I mean, the Vuelta will be interesting for her. What about the Giro? Giro's good. I'm keen to see how she goes. And ELB as well. Hope you enjoyed the videos from UAE Tour Women. I'll see you with the Mile stage tomorrow. Ciao.